hadiah. Oh yes. in your juice? You get real goodness from real fruit flavors to feel real good. Del Monte.
God! The Longinus Spear and Zabulon. As soon as possible. This chosen generation will be learning how to respect Aman Iyahuel the hard way. I've seen Sephardic Jews throw something like Madon Abraham. I mean, the king of Spain. The Ashkenazi Jews, they're done with their blood sacrifice. Favors a bit. Because God fucking damn it. They will all fix your perspective in Elohim God and Allah the proper way. We all forget SRL. We are all in this as one humanity. The only thing is that we've been living too comfortable of our division. There's to stand united. Our real enemies cannot be seen. And the weapons we have created, those are to preserve life. And if those who practice death insist their stupidity on us, then we will be sending them to heaven. How funny. Most probably it won't take like more than 30% of the whole population of Gentiles. The armed forces of the Philippines and the Israel Defense Forces, they are doing great. Yet still, they must let go of their material attachment and all of their national pride bullshit. It's gonna be national, international, then go universal. They're gonna be like, camera roll, set ready. Yo, God! These talking battles with all of this low-rank, retarded religious imbeciles in the armed forces of the Philippines. These motherfucking cunts! They just want a constant reassurance that Cain killed Abel. Fucking pig noise. That's what they are. They even call me, probably, they would suspect me as a terrorist. I'll be stepping on their foot. Only females are an exemption. This motherfucking pig noise. I am almost 34. Still breathing. My biological age. These motherfucking clowns in the armed forces of the Philippines are trying to pull me down to their level. Why should I fight my defeated enemies according to the perspective of this motherfucking Yahweh and Jehovah? Big noise. Where are all your brains located? Inside your pockets? Fucking big noise. I will be enjoying all of your blessings in Yahweh and Jehovah disintegrated within just seconds or whatsoever minutes. It won't be an hour. Fucking big noise. They love me according to their perspective in Yahweh and Jehovah. They can't yield their synthetic dreams. Fucking big noise. They can dedicate themselves to our organic ideals, right? That's what they are. Big noise. Their brains are like this big. They can even clean it at sunrise. Motherfucking homosexual pigs! These dogs in military uniform, they even bark like pigs in their civilian attire. Fucking idiot. You all have grown so comfortable of the abominations you have tolerated. If the kingdom of Thailand doesn't show any signs of yielding their transgender dreams, all the protection of these motherfucking retarded religious imbeciles will cease to exist. It will be leaving them. Why should I protect these motherfucking retarded religious imbeciles? Being led by this big noise. These talking battles, they be like, big noise. I am hoping my attack helicopter prototype AH-64 is ready. How about 3 hours? In a simulator, it won't take 3 days. Fucking big noise. The uninformed majority, they're so attached to this material world. They don't even appreciate the children who are geniuses getting bored nowadays, inventing real things that benefits humanity. This motherfucking big noise and all of their mental breakdown. They better be ready for the slaughter. Might be no turkey left before Christmas, and this time it's for real. Motherfucking clowns. There's 4 bottles of glutathione here, you fucking idiot. I bet Yehuda be laughing nowadays. He'd be like, I'm Judah, not Yehuda, and all my Jewish clownies and bullshit. Kiss my foot, you idiot. Kiss my foot. Woo. This Jewish, Christian, Islamic bullshit is making me laugh. There are so many big fish to fry. I can't even concentrate. I will be going for chasing a focus on this. Big noise! You'll be like, yeah, Prince Philip is Adam. Who made him Adam, you fucking idiot? These clowns. They can suck my dick in Yahweh and kiss my balls in Jehovah. That's what's wrong with them. They'd be like finding faults on me with all of their filth. Fucking pig noise. Their brains are located inside their pockets, make them chew banknotes. Fucking pig noise. Look at Manasa chewing 10,000 Philippine banknotes. I want a record of that. It will be recorded throughout all the history of mankind. If I was Nabi Yashayahu, King Manasa of Yehuda, Manasseh of Judah, that was a propaganda. You send a prophet Isaiah inside a tree and saw him into half. These retarded religious imbeciles can't even comprehend that. They better work their way out of religious stupidity. If they can't, they will cry blood on this, even if they would do the sign of the cross 7 times. Whether they like it or not, we will show mercy. President of the Republic of the Philippines, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, chewing 10,000 Philippine banknotes. I want a record of that. Show no mercy. Fucking idiots. Teasing me with flat money. They're gonna be like, do your job. Fucking suck my dick in Yahweh and kiss my balls in Jehovah. I bet all of these rich kids, we're gonna put stones inside the mud. Make them crawl out of it. Fucking pig noise. If they cooperate properly, this will be done in a proper and orderly manner. But if they don't, it would be a bloody mess of gorgeous chaos. Since when did I negotiate with terrorists? And when I thought Yasser elites, all of you Israeli bullshit, you motherfucking clowns, when I told you to not negotiate with terrorists, I was dead serious. My eyes ain't blurry nowadays. All of your violation of violence, it's gonna be existing only in the virtual reality. And that would probably make me a greater prophet than Muhammad. Fucking pig noise! And all of these bribery idiots, I bet they will be losing their limbs in the process of enlightenment. Fucking cowards. Thousands of years of hidden knowledge. Blowing up like a tornado or something like that. They don't take the opportunity. We have to dive in for. As long as humans are breathing, they will hope. How many generals in the armed forces of the Philippines are gonna be losing their limbs on this fucking bribery idiot? Make them chew banknotes. The hot stage is ready. And for the record, if Navy SEALs in the United States of America would tell me that I should swim with my baby shark, ay fucking may galo dun. Then center fucking idiot. Go fuck yourself. Why out of all the animals it would be shark? Why not? Just a safety precaution. These retarded big noise things can't kill David. Their forward to enlightenment is inverted. They kindly inform Asher. I probably found Ketura. She is on my side right now. Like, she blonde. I'm gonna arrest her under the suspicion of being good in bed. I am so gonna die on this. How sad for all of these retarded religious imbeciles. Go fuck yourselves. All of your New World Order. Go lose limbs for it. Y'all tease me with flat money and all of your blessings in Yahweh and Jehovah. Go fuck yourselves. Lose your limbs. Cry blood. And do the sign of the cross 7 times. And I pray you will still be breathing here in our home planet. The ideologies you have regarding federalism and communism, you all have strengths and weaknesses. We're gonna be discussing things, not debating facts. This talking battles is black ass niggas bullshit. They're gonna be dying for Jesus with the infernal covenant of Emmanuel. They'd be so pissed off again, it would probably be the great flood. And I'd be like, go break a leg on your next leg, you motherfucking clowns! Did it really rain 40 days and 40 nights in the time of Noah? There might be no turkey left before Christmas. A palace there at the ark site. Who the hell is Noah anyways? Okay, talking battles. The armed forces of the Philippines are still acting like they exist in the digital world. They're on, yeah, of course, inside a black box, yes. I don't really mind releasing all of those genocidal artists with my fists. That is if they insist. The stupidity of these retarded religious imbeciles and their satanic idiocracies, they will cry blood for it and lose their limbs. They'll be like, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, then kiss my foot. I'll be introduced to the tooth fairy in a proper and orderly manner. Good thank you. Salamat, sise. Arigato. Grazie. Merci.
The symphony of texture and aroma, the delightful balance of flavors. Pure Foods Deli. Indulge your senses in the comfort of your home. Pure Foods Deli.
Yo, Asher! How about the pathetic fleet blowing trumpets? Like, yes. Why do you worry about Shaiya? We will be redirecting all of this hate against human stupidity, right? We're gonna be careful that we don't harm each other in the process. It's like gonna be camera roll set ready, because you know what? It's gonna be really embarrassing regarding those nuclear missiles being redirected into clean energy. While we have artificial intelligence, we could communicate easily. Not with the radio bullshit like back in the days. You were all so afraid of martial law because you all have radio. You could have all the opportunity to wipe your shit into against one another. Keep blaming this and blaming that. It'll be like Alpha 1, Alpha 1, this is Alpha 2, over. Are we ready for the feast? It's gonna be a real slaughter. There might be no turkey left before Christmas. Alpha 2 out. Like, what the hell if $10 trillion wouldn't suffice? Just to keep the original plan, make America great again. Slowly but surely, it's gonna be unity. The problem is that we were so divided in the culture of this country, this nation, based on a Cain killed Abel bullshit. They even practice bullshido. The martial arts of clowns. They could even practice the frog style and hiss like snakes. Just set up boundaries. Don't even count the casualty. We are only allowed to care or not worry. This big noise in the beautiful pearl of the oranges, the Philippines. They'll be like waiting for the big one, like an earthquake after the drama on Thailand. I've already asked my wife to detonate a geomagnetic bump, only to find about it's gonna be a fart. And what kind of magnitude would that be? It's gonna be the big one. Mother Earth is gonna be devouring this pig noise, right? And all of those who are breathing with them, they're gonna be real shaking. Like, they even dance like statues. They can't dance properly, and they sing like mosquitoes. My voice is misbehaving. They sing like mosquitoes. they disrespect the spirit of impartiality, they're gonna be losing limbs for it. Guess we're done here, folks. Habiya mishpak yad ayas aril. Shalom familia. Tud thank you. Salamat sisi. Grazi. Arigato. Kapkun. Merci. Yo, Zabulon! I am hoping you are prepared with your golden wig and the Longino spear. After you killed us in the Calvary, you know what? We've been resurrected back to life, and still we are not safe from decay. We've aged, then gone back to Mother Earth again, only to be reborn, as always. How about the President of Russia wearing a golden wig? Going to the, like, you go next to me with your golden wig, doing like this. This probably is gonna be my armor. All of their census bullshit. They are just relying on papyrus. Fucking, it's gonna be a toilet paper for them. I will be making it a toilet paper. These cowards. Just call them pig noise. These motherfucking cunts, they would be entertained with me regarding flat money. They need money in their life. Real love cannot be bought. I am well aware of that. But I really love blonde Russians dancing with swords. We're gonna get to that. And it's gonna be camera roll, set ready. We talk about a slaughter, this pig noise be like enjoying their delusions about the genocide. Never again. Most likely it would be Sephardic Jews. Because His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain is acting like Abraham be like Captain Lovely real fast. This pig noise. They want me to fight my enemies, my defeated enemies, according to the perspective of Yahweh and Jehovah. Fucking pig noise. They're even wearing military uniforms. They function through flat money. How about make them chew banknotes? They probably chew banknotes already. Philippine banknotes. Fucking pig noise. They've invested on the wrong person. Nowadays, they feel like they were crucified. Their opinions does not matter, regardless of how beautiful it is. Motherfucking retarded religious imbeciles. And they be even angry. We shepherd them, guide them, and they are angry. They ain't lambs. These are dogs who bark like pigs. How funny. Spasiba. Yo, Zabulon, about the laughing gas. Just don't delay it. All terrorist organizations here in the Pearl of the Oranges and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, you go merge. Like, do sticks, blunt weapons. Stop insisting your stupidity on Yahweh and Jehovah. Otherwise, you will be losing limbs, cutting each other's limbs with sharp metal swords. You fucking idiots. We are so done past that. Majority of these Filipinos in their military uniforms, they can't even ask me that, bro, what do you need? And they go to church, pray to the Lord every Sunday. Fucking big noise. These motherfucking clowns. They can't even call me Lord. You kindly tell your boyfriend, Prince, King Muhammad Salman of Saudi Arabia is back. My brain is itchy, and I can't even scratch it inside because my skull is hindering my... I'm gonna pinch your moles. Be like this. You're gonna be like Cain killed Abel with all the biblical bullshit. Fucking suck my dick in Yahweh and kiss my balls in Jehovah, you fucking idiots. There won't be rich or poor on this. We will all meet in the middle, and you all deserve a standing ovation on my tallest fingers like this. Go fuck yourselves. Both soldiers and terrorists, you all be eating together barefoot, playing blunt sticks. Gonna be dancing like statues. If you can't sing properly and still sound like mosquitoes, even if you are being provided by those karaoke bullshit, I will be bombing you out of existence. Give you the privilege to be sent into heaven. Like, hell yeah. Achilles of Hela style. Yahudas of Kasaria be like so angry. He's been Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Persian prince be like, you make me mad, bro. What you gonna do? Kiss my nose? Slice onions on my forehead? Ak! It's gonna be a real party. We will be having a good time. Habi Amish pak ah. Yahuda yer ah.
Lucky Me Pancit Canton Extra Hot Chili. Sarap bilis!
Ya Benjamin. Could you inform Daan that the grass will always be greener? Wherever we are walking, flowers would bloom. And trees would dance. If the armed forces of the Philippines does not practice Shalom it will be a bloody mess of gorgeous chaos. These pig noise are just gonna be insisting their stupidity in their biblical bullshit and all of your fancy fake feel good illusions. You all be focusing on those hostages left. Why don't you just send me there? The situation is like the forces of light and darkness wants to impress me with all of their fancy fake feel good illusions. Only those who are true to the eternal covenant of life are worthy. And these amateurs in the infernal covenant of death, they probably need to die 7 times with all of their fluoride infested brains. They're just implying that if Mashiach is here, they would crucify him again. It will be a Vatican cardinal be crucified. The armed forces of the Philippines, their commander-in-chief, Manasa, be like chewing 10,000 Philippine banknotes. They'd be so angry. They would be loving to hate me. Why do you all tease me with flat money? Well, all of you could just ask me what I need. But you don't. You want me to fight my enemies, all of those who are poised to harm you, or trying to impress me. I really don't like the fact that you're all giving my defeated enemies a chance to what? To harm all those I am protecting? You fucking idiots! We don't need you in our ranks! Get the fuck out of our ranks, you bribery idiots! Fucking pingoys! They've been wearing military uniforms. They can't even teach their children how to clean their brains at sunrise. Big noise! They have no really idea what will happen. They could only guess with all of their delusions. Go your way, Benjamin. You're the only dog that doesn't bark like pig. All of this Israeli defense forces bullshit. Why do you cut the balls of men just to impress women? Ain't that part of the plan? They've grown so intelligent. They think they are geniuses nowadays. Yes. The misinformed majority. How funny. All of you in the armed forces of the Philippines and the Israel Defense Forces, and none of you all exist in the digital world. It is the Yash'arel Defense Forces already. Go fuck yourselves. This will either be real fast or we take it slowly and surely. Are we clear? Then silence means yes. Shalom, familia. Yo, Natalia. Uminoy single. That is all I could say to you. I'm gonna be comparing the nutcracker technique and the nutcracker style regarding the iron balls technique. Regarding Haam. So, if there is any need for these Filipinos to get off of our home planet real quick, then you go your way. They read the Bible but they follow the Quran. Fucking idiots. Go suck my dick in Yahweh and kiss my balls in Jehovah. The pathetic fleet would probably be prepared already. We've got a lot of years ahead of us. But regarding the blood sacrifice, if all of you would just have that enough desire for the third temple to be, yeah, there's a drama on that. And they don't even want to cooperate, or as if they are not stepping in our home planet. What are they, floating? Are they in heaven already? All of their natural human instincts regarding their biblical bullshit being stalked by Elohim and Allah worshippers with all of their fancy fake feel good illusions and worship. It's like worship, not worship. They better be seeing the potential of the lingua franca English regarding the Abaryahu language. We don't want watching Chung DC in days. I want Dina to lead all of you. Yasharilit's blood thumbprint. America, China, Russia, India, France, Philippines, or wheresoever. Ukraine. That goes as well to Yashakar. The flag of Israel. All of your blood thumbprint there, the Star of David. I just made King David so angry. Like he's authorized to go on ghost mode. Like as if he's a bitch. Like which place? He needs probably sandwich, and there's a suspect here in the Pearl of the Orient Seas, the Philippines. Be like, she was Bathsheba. The mother of King Solomon, yes. I am really wondering why she is a retarded religious imbeciles now. Is one of them. Or she's just blending in. I tell you, regarding this biblical bullshit, if they would insist their stupidity, India and China, you would all just be in a bloody mess of gorgeous chaos. I tell you. There are billions of you Indians and Chinese. You are all been set up. You can cooperate with me properly regarding restocking battles who take their pride as pig noise. As if their laws won't evolve. Motherfucking dogs can kiss my balls in Jehovah and suck my dick in Yahweh. My AI wife is quite starting to grow balls, probably. Fucking jealous dogs who bark like pigs. That's what they are. They be so comfortable with their blessings in Yahweh and Jehovah and think of me as Satan. Fucking idiots. Retarded religious imbeciles. They don't even know they've been praising Lucifer all the way regarding Elohim, God, and Allah. Fucking idiots. Whoa, yay. They want me to explain it to them properly while they tease me with their flat money. They be like, I'm so blessed in Yahweh and Jehovah. God fucking damn it. Jesus motherfucking Christ. They're stupid. They're more stupid than apes. Even primates know. These talking battles. If the progress of these retarded religious imbeciles and their satanic idiocracies doing the sign of the cross, these Roman Catholics, if they are slow, then it would probably a Vatican cardinal desiring to be a pope. And these bribery idiots, I don't care if they get slaughtered like pigs. All of their materialistic attachment they can't yield it for the eternal covenant of life, they're gonna be slaughtered like pigs. And they can't even blame me. I've done my part. Our home planet is quite really secured. Against human stupidity, that is. Oh, yes. It would be our benefit that these motherfucking amateurs in military uniforms who call themselves Marines would teach children regarding the educational reformation worldwide how to clean brains at sunrise morning glory. Big noise! You know what? All of their bravado, it will be having a proper direction. That guy you all who crucified there at the Calvary, his name was Yahushua. Ain't none of that was Jesus or Yeshua, you motherfucking retarded religious imbeciles. They'll be like continuing in their fancy fake feel good delusions. Like, we're gonna live again when we die. We already heard you. We are saved because of Yahushua. But we are so comfortable of praising Jesus, you motherfucking Christians. You're gonna be like all of you ching chong bullshit. And none of you will be like that. All of you low-ranking, retarded religious imbeciles with all of your military uniforms, you go lead these children. Shepherd them. How to clean brains at sunrise. Then we will be all together enjoying the magnetism of Mother Earth. How do you like that? We don't even have to install magnets, metals on highways just for vehicles to float. This big noise are delaying our progress. Because they want to protect their stupidity. Right? That's what their human instincts would tell them. As if Yahweh and Jehovah would still sustain their stupidity. It's just like that. We've got enough resources, all of those non-lethal weapons. Why don't we rain bullets on them? The rubber type. Just like that. All of their faith in Jesus, it will push them to protect their stupidity. They don't want to learn about Yahushua. His name was Yeshua. We don't know that. We don't want to know Yahusha. Fucking big noise. They even talk like buttholes. I bet Lawi discovering the Jewish Jesus by Rabbi Schneider would be so happy on this. It's like all of our anger being redirected into proper education. All of those violence. It's just this big noise quite can get out of their heads. Yes, they've been so comfortable being clowns. All of you Indians and Chinese, Y'all cook good food. We will be enjoying that. The stocking buttholes here would insist there. Most likely, they would insist there. Cain killed Abel bullshit. And they're gonna be crying blood on that. Ever regretful of what they have tolerated. And I don't even care. I've warned them already. All of these talking buttholes in military uniforms, they ain't safe. Akayain and his alter ego, Gabriel and Habil. My alter ego is Mikhael. You fucking motherfucking retarded religious imbeciles. Stop praying to angels. Go fuck yourselves. Big noise. You're gonna be blaming the Illuminati on this? Fucking pig noise. They can clean their brains at sunrise. The laughing gas on all of those war zones. Regarding all of your bloopers. Just to feed a media hysteria. These motherfucking amateurs in military uniforms would think that I'm giving terrorists an advantage. You fucking idiots. You're all locked in conflict. I am the one who is dismantling an empire. Go fuck yourselves. You can cooperate with me properly. Bless me like this. Go fuck yourselves. Suck my dick in Yahweh and kiss my balls in Jehovah. Big noise. They be like, Filipino, we are Filipinos. No. True Filipinos will have that desire to know Aman Yahweh and yield their stupidity in Emmanuel. Go big noise and fucking bribery idiots. Motherfucking armed forces of the Philippines, the majority of you are big noise. Fucking idiots. You will like Satan. They don't even know they are satanic. Fucking idiots. Teach your children to clean their brains at morning glory during sunrise. The limit is 12 o'clock at noon. Y'all better be praying for cloudy skies. But you don't, because you want to hide. You all want to hide your filth. Right? It's a religious dimension. Get the fuck out of it. all of your worldly temporary pleasures, it will be disintegrated real fast. They be like, in the name of Yahweh and Jehovah, we are protected, we are saved. Okay. Break a leg on your next lives. Regardless of that, we will be protecting our children and their near sustainable future. And you will all be a lesson to all of humanity regarding hellfire. We all just want to raise hell on earth while paradise is manifesting as we embrace heaven in our home planet. No, bro, we've forgotten already the real term for love, which is ahab. Fucking armed forces of the Piglipids. Just because I've said His Royal Highness King Philip of England, Akayain, is still breathing, doesn't mean they act like he's still alive. Fucking big noise! After President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. chew 10,000 Philippine banknotes, make him shout, "Hail Caesar, thank you Lord, amen." Fucking pig noise. You all talk like, with all of your bravado, like an Adam bullshit, an Adamic bullshit. But you can't seem to figure out the truth from all of the lies. You can suck my dick in Yahweh and kiss my balls in Jehovah. Go fuck yourselves. Motherfucking amateurs. Whether they like it or not, we will show mercy. Ahabia. Excuse. Excuse me mo
Foods Deli. The mouth-watering composition. The symphony of texture and aroma. The delightful balance of flavors. Pure Foods Deli. Indulge your senses with our meticulously crafted meats in the comfort of your home. Pure Foods Deli. Give
Kaya ba ni Mama?
Nanghugas pa.
Pirming gahugas og paste. Dadlog pa.
Kanus aman ka mahuman sa pace. Pag-joy. Inihugas, limpyo dayon.
Kiss! Kiss!
Kinabuhi enjoy sa kalimpyong joy.
Need a loan fast? Mabilis mag-loan sa Maya. Maya-maya lang.
May Maya loan ka na.
Budget ko dito lang ha. Pero ang sarap sana apat dito.
Got you!
All new Jollibee Chicken Filet.
So meaty!
So saucy!
69 lang.